Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is the public involvement meeting for the Layaway Road project from Brandon Road to Illinois Route 53. We want to give special thanks to our partners who have joined us this evening, which include the City of Joliet, the Illinois Department of Transportation, and the Federal Highway Administration. Before we get started into today's presentation, I do have a few housekeeping items to address. First things first, this is the Layaway Road meeting from Brandon to Illinois Route 53. If this is not the meeting you're expecting, please follow the link below for the Layaway Road meeting from Cedar to LaGrange Road. Both meetings are happening this evening, so if you're attending to attend that meeting, please click on this link, and we can add that to the chat as well. A couple of tips to keep in mind. We addressed this earlier, but I'd like to mention it now just in case you're just coming in. If you wish to mute or unmute yourself, please navigate to the bottom of your screen where the microphone icon is. You can click that button to mute or unmute yourself. And if you are listening in, you click, or I should say, you should press *6 to mute or unmute yourself. If you wish to ask a question or report an issue, we're asking that all comments and questions come through the chat box. Staff will be monitoring the chat box during today's meeting, so please be sure to add those comments there. I'll also like to add that attendees can verbally participate in the conversation during the public comment period of this meeting, which will be at the tail end of this meeting. So we're asking that all comments and questions come through the chat box throughout the presentations. And then when we get to the public comment period, we'll ask you to verbally participate. The last thing I'll mention is that this meeting will be recorded and posted to the Public Input Opportunity webpage. I'll briefly go over today's agenda. We'll have introductions from the project team for about 5 minutes. Then we'll get into the Layaway Road station presentations, followed by a question and answer period. And that will be for about 55 minutes. And then finally, we have an opportunity for attendees to make public comments, and that will be for 30 minutes at the very end of today's meeting. So now I'm gonna hand it off to Tom to lead us into introductions. I'll stop sharing my screen so you can see the full team, and then I'll share my screen once we get into the presentations.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. So my name is Tom Murtha, and I'm the project manager for the project. I want to thank you for being here. Again, I'm with CMAP, the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning. Michelle is also with CMAP. We're going to introduce folks from the City of Joliet, the Illinois Department of Transportation, perhaps the Federal Highway Administration, and our consultant team from Jacobs Engineering. So the City of Joliet, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, thanks, Tom. We appreciate you giving us the introduction. This is Greg Ruddy. I'm the Director of Public Works with the City of Joliet. The city was approached by CMAP to partner on this study. We felt it was very worthwhile and needed. There's a safety concern at this crossing, and we hope to be able to move forward to find a solution at this point. Also on the call is Russ Lubash, who's the city's traffic engineer. Russ has been heavily involved with the study as well, probably our point person on it. He's listening in, and Russ, if you want to add anything else, feel free.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, I think you mentioned it well, but my name's Russ Lubash. I'm the traffic engineer with the Department of Public Works, City of Joliet. And as Greg indicated, the city's a partner with CMAP throughout this process. And if the process moves forward past the Pell study, the city would be the lead agency that would navigate the process through into engineering the phase 1 and 2 and 3 of the project.
All right, thank you. Now we have staff from IDOT.
Good evening. My name is John Sherrill. I'm with the Illinois Department of Transportation, and IDOT is excited to be working on this important railroad crossing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, and let's see. And then we have staff from, I think we plan to have staff from the Federal Highway Administration. Is the Federal Highway Administration on the line? Okay, not hearing them. So I would like our consultant team, who did much of the work for the project from Jacobs Engineering, introduce themselves, please.
Hi, my name is Marie Glenn. I am a civil engineer as well as the project manager for this planning and environmental linkages study.
Good evening. My name is Jill Kramer, and I'm an environmental planner. I've been involved in the development of the purpose and need for this PEL study.
Good evening. This is Srikanth Pangaluri. I'm the roadway engineer for this project and also have conducted traffic and safety studies.
Hello, I'm Carla Mikatuk, and I work on public and stakeholder engagement for the project.
All right, thank you. And all right, so now the next thing that we'd like to do is turn it back to Michelle and begin the presentations. We'll start with a presentation about an introduction to the project.
Welcome to the public meeting for the Layaway Road Planning and Environmental Linkages Study. This study was conducted by the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, or CMAP, on behalf of the City of Joliet. The study was coordinated with the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration. Please watch this introductory video about the project.
The Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, CMAP, is undertaking a study of Laraway Road from Illinois Route 53 to Brandon Road in Will County, Illinois. The study is focused on the at-grade or level crossing of Laraway Road at the Union Pacific Railroad. In 2019, Laraway Road was one of 47 at-grade railroad crossings prioritized for further study or improvement by CMAP and its partner agencies. A few facts. In 2019, CMAP counted 22 trains over a full day, consisting of 10 Amtrak trains, 6 freight trains, and 6 trains switching over the crossing. Counting false activations, the gates were lowered 25 times during the day. On Laraway Road, IDOT recently estimated traffic volumes at 10,700 vehicles daily. In 2018, CMAP counted 8,700 vehicles, about 3/4 of which were trucks. Indeed, this section of Laraway Road is in an industrial area that generates many truck trips. The speed limit on Laraway Road is 40 miles an hour, but substantial delay is a big concern at the crossing, particularly for truckers who are trying to meet delivery deadlines. During our observations, Amtrak trains block the crossing for only a minute each, but freight trains block the crossing an average of 9 minutes each, with a maximum blockage of almost 17 minutes. Such long gate blockages cause extensive queues of trucks to form on Laraway. Just 4 trucks carrying 53-foot trailers can extend the length of a football field. Westbound blockages routinely extend back a half mile through the intersection with Route 53, while eastbound blockages routinely extend to Brandon Road. When the gates rise, eastbound queues platoon to the Route 53 intersection, but the limited green time for left-turning trucks causes the queues to break up only slowly. Queues resulting from the gate blockages, but also from truck traffic volumes exceeding capacity, frequently back up from the Route 53 intersection onto the railroad tracks, as seen here. U.S. and Illinois law prohibit trucks from entering a railroad crossing unless the truck has sufficient room on the other side of the crossing to completely clear the crossing, but trucks have frequently been seen on the crossing, blocking it, as shown on the video. Adding to the delay, some vehicles are required to turn on flashers and stop at most at-grade crossings. At Laraway Road, these vehicles include a few school buses and transit vehicles, but are mostly trucks carrying hazardous materials. Many of the trucks carrying hazardous materials are tanker trucks, but also include containers, stake beds carrying gases, and semi-trailers. CMAP counted 73 safety stops at the crossing over 24 hours, but as you might see at a stop sign, only about half of the vehicles came to a complete stop, and 4 of those stopping did not stop at the stop bar. The crossing gates frequently require repairs, often because of trucks striking the gates. Over the past 6 years, the gates have required an average of 44 repairs per year, with 20 per year indicating that there was a gate hit, broke, or knocked by a vehicle. The time required to repair the gates has been about 1 hour 45 minutes for the past 2 years, but was substantially higher in previous years. The crossing must often be closed for such repairs. All of this has substantial costs, including vehicle delay, reduced reliability for truck drivers, police response, and the actual cost of the gate repairs. CMAP's study is employing the Federal Planning and Environmental Linkages, or PEL process, to develop a draft purpose and need, identification and evaluation of alternatives, 1 or more alternatives to be carried forward for further analysis, and a planning level cost estimate of the alternatives to be carried forward. This segment of Laraway Road is under the jurisdiction of the City of Joliet. While the City of Joliet has not committed to proceeding with additional engineering or construction for Laraway Road, the study will help the city determine the need, scope, and cost of a potential improvement, thus assisting the city in the decision-making process. For more information about this study, see engage.cmap.illinois.gov. Thank you.
Thank you for reviewing these materials. We encourage you to visit the stations to learn more about how the project has developed and what alternatives are being recommended for further consideration. Please provide your feedback. You can submit comments online by visiting the project website or by emailing the CMAP contacts provided. You also can fill out and mail the comment form included in the project brochure. The brochure contains project information and a summary of the alternatives recommended for further consideration. Comments received or postmarked by April 30th will become part of the official project summary. CMAP also will host a live Zoom meeting about the Layaway Road Pell study on April 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. You'll also be able to chat with the project team and ask questions. Registration for the public meeting is available on our project site at engage.cmap.illinois.gov/Layaway Road at Union Pacific Railroad Crossing. Thank you.
Okay, so were there any questions entered into the chat at this time?
No, so far we haven't seen any questions come in.
Okay, so let's jump right into the description of the Pell process. And then again, if people have questions, they can immediately just type those up as the video is going. All right, so Michelle?
Welcome to Station 2. At this station, you'll learn about planning and environmental linkages studies, or PEL studies, and why Layaway Road benefits from the PEL process. CMAP is studying Layaway Road from Brandon Road to Illinois Route 53, following the PEL process set by the Federal Highway Administration. PEL studies are planning studies that focus on gaining an understanding of existing conditions and expected future needs. Environmental, community, and economic goals are considered. PEL study benefits include streamlining Phase 1 engineering, building relationships with agencies and the public, accelerating project delivery, positioning projects for future funding, and fostering better environmental outcomes. Pell studies also help align the project with future environmental or regulatory requirements and develop new engineering and public engagement tools. Ultimately, Pell studies help create better outcomes for the community. During the Laraway Road Pell study, CMAP used commonly accepted planning tools and technologies for developing and evaluating alternatives, met with the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration multiple times for their concurrence on project direction and decisions. Finally, CMAP engaged stakeholders and the public, as we'll discuss in a minute. The project purpose and needs statement, stakeholder involvement plan, and documentation required for Pell studies can be found on the project website. The project purpose and need and alternatives to be carried forward may be carried by the Pell study to Phase 1 engineering without having to redo the analysis. This will allow for an earlier selection of preferred alternative in Phase 1 engineering, saving substantial time and money as the project is closer to the required environmental and design approval. Following the Pell study, if the City of Joliet decides to proceed with the project, engineering studies will commence. Phase 1 engineering includes environmental studies and conceptual design. Phase 2 engineering includes detailed plans and specifications that contractors can later use to build the project. Decisions made during the Pell process and coordinated with state and federal officials will not have to be revisited during later engineering studies. A robust stakeholder involvement plan has been implemented for the Layaway Road Pell study. The key objectives of the plan include identifying stakeholders who have an interest in the Layaway Road Pell study, ensuring stakeholders and the public are aware of the project and decisions, and providing opportunities for the public to share their input. Pell studies are ideal for encouraging stakeholders like you to become involved in the study process from the beginning. Over the course of the Pell study, CMAP identified stakeholders early in the planning process and encouraged their participation, provided opportunities for input through a stakeholder survey, an engagement website, and a virtual public meeting on Zoom, conducted extensive targeted outreach with key stakeholders in the early Pell study to understand the needs of the project area. These stakeholders include the Union Pacific Railroad, Illinois Commerce Commission, various trucking associations, property owners, local and state agencies, and community groups. Stay involved in the project by attending the public information meeting on April 14th, by signing up for project updates on the CMAP project website, or by checking the website over the next several months. The materials prepared during the Pell study will be used by the City of Joliet as a starting point for Phase 1 engineering. Details on how to participate are at the end of the presentations for Stations 1 and 4.
So far, we haven't had any questions for Station 2.
Okay, so let's see, we will give people like just a couple seconds to see if there are any questions that come in. And otherwise, keep on typing those questions. And we can actually go into the purpose and need. And again, let's wait just a second here. Anything yet?
No.
Okay. All right, then let's start on the purpose and need, and then we can again wait for those questions to come in over time.
At this station, we will discuss the project's purpose and need. The purpose and need is the foundation of the alternative study. The purpose and need identifies transportation challenges in the study area, establishes why an action is needed, and identifies measures to evaluate alternative solutions. The purpose and need is one of the first steps for many types of projects, including transportation. The PEL study focuses on the Laraway Road and Union Pacific Railroad at grade, or level, crossing located in the city of Joliet. The study area includes 1.25 miles of Laraway Road from Brandon Road to Illinois 53, as well as 1.75 miles of the Union Pacific Railroad from Zurich Road to Schweitzer Road. Industrial land uses include employers such as Vulcan Materials Company and Laraway Recycling and Disposal. National retailers, logistics providers, and the Union Pacific Railroad's Joliet Intermodal Terminal near the study area are the source of many trips. Industrial, transportation, and logistics development is expected to continue in the future. The project team evaluated existing travel and traffic volume forecasts to understand current and future delay and travel time reliability. The analysis found that Laraway Road is a freight corridor with extremely high volumes of slow-moving trucks. Gate closures at the railroad crossing are lengthy. Some last 10 to 15 minutes. This results in traffic backups in both directions that take time to clear. Many trucks make safety stops at the railroad, stopping traffic. And eastbound traffic on Laraway Road also experiences backups because of the Route 53 intersection. Cars and trucks experience a stop-and-go situation that often extends across the railroad. The planned Hobo Road Bridge will link northwest across the river to I-80, but even with the new bridge and planned improvements along Route 53, there will still be future traffic operational problems on Laraway Road. The project team evaluated safety concerns at the railroad crossing. Truck drivers often stop on or near the tracks because of congestion, but the crossing is 110 feet wide, so drivers may not realize their truck has not cleared the tracks. The analysis also found railroad gates were damaged or broken by a vehicle about twice a month, resulting in non-functioning gates between 1.5 hours to 7 hours, an important safety consideration. A gate was seen descending onto a truck cab during a 24-hour field observation of operations at the crossing. In addition, this is a high-speed rail corridor. Preventing truck-train collisions is an even greater consideration because of the expected high train speeds in the near future. Technical analyses were complemented by stakeholder and public outreach. The outreach also identified issues that the technical analysis had not yet uncovered in the study area, such as drainage issues that engineers would need to understand in later project phases. A 2020 survey solicited input from stakeholders. 93 responses were received from local residents, truck drivers, transportation companies, community administrators, planners, engineers, commuters, and nearby property owners. The survey was via the web, email, and traditional mail. Overall, survey findings were consistent with traffic and safety data. Respondents said delays lasting longer than 10 minutes at the railroad crossing are common. To emphasize the safety concerns at this location, 20% of those who took the survey said they have witnessed a vehicle strike the railroad gates on Laraway Road, and 80% have witnessed a vehicle speed up to beat closing railroad gates. Following up on this survey finding, the study team collected the gate strike and repair data mentioned above. The majority of survey respondents agreed that reducing delay and conflicts in the study area is important. Nearly 70% identified travel time reliability for truckers as important. 80% said reducing conflicts between trains and motorists is important, and nearly 80% identified reducing travel delay caused by the at-grade crossing as important. Survey respondents experienced significant delays along Laraway Road. Approximately 90% said they have been behind a slow-moving vehicle along Laraway Road and unable to pass, and over 90% said they have experienced delays traveling on Laraway Road as they approach the Route 53 intersection. A third of users reported waiting more than 10 minutes to make it through the intersection. The purpose and need statement for the Laraway Road PEL study is based on technical analysis and informed by stakeholder input. The purpose of the Laraway Road project is to improve the efficiency of the study area's transportation system by reducing travel delays along Laraway Road for all users caused by extended gate closures, to improve safety by reducing the potential for trains to collide with vehicles, and to improve the freight network reliability to the intermodal and industrial sites in the study area. The purpose and need statement is the basis for the development and evaluation of alternatives. Please let us know if the purpose and need captures your understanding of Laraway Road. Comments received or postmarked by April 30th will become part of the official project summary. A traditional mailable comment form is included in the project brochure. CMAP will also be hosting a live Zoom meeting about the Laraway Road project on April 14th, 2021 at 6:00 p.m. for you to chat with the project team and ask questions. Register for the Zoom meeting at the following URL: https://engage.cmap.illinois.gov/laraway-road-at-union-pacific-railroad-crossing. Please proceed to Station 4 for details on the alternatives development process.
Okay, so that covered the purpose and need for the project. Again, using technical information with stakeholder input also used. What we would like to do now is have a poll for this purpose and need statement. Does the purpose and need statement adequately capture the issues of concern at Laraway Road? And we're asking that you answer yes or no. And if you answer no, if you could put into the chat box what you think was missing from that statement, or how you think that statement should be changed, that would be appreciated. So again, does the purpose and need statement adequately capture the issues of concern at Layaway Road? Okay, and it looks like the large majority of people have answered yes, and about half of the total participants have participated. We'll give it another 10 or 15 seconds, and also give people a chance to put in the chat how they might change the purpose and need, or what they think might have been missing from that statement. Okay, so let's see, it looks like about 2/3 have voted, and about 90% have voted, have indicated yes. So Carla, has anybody indicated what needs to be added to the purpose and need?
Yes, Tom, we did receive a comment that said too much anecdotal and survey data, but no traffic data was included.
Okay. Let's see. I will note that the complete purpose and need statement includes a lot of traffic data, and that full report, including the traffic data, is available on the engage.cmap.illinois.gov website. So if after looking at the detailed report there are still concerns, then they can contact the project team, contact me, and we can go over exactly what the concerns are. Any other issues in the chat?
So far, no other issues have come in.
Okay, yeah. But we did look at detailed traffic forecasts as part of the purpose and need process. Okay, so I'm going to end the polling. And let's see, so there. Let's see. So the results should be seen there now again. About 2/3 of the people here participated, and about 90% were satisfied with the purpose and need statement. And we can again wait for people who have not seen the actual report to take a look at it and address any other concerns. So let's close that. And now we're going to go into the alternatives considered for the project. Let's start that video, please.
Excuse me. Sorry. There it is.
At this station, we will discuss potential solutions or alternatives. We'll share an overview of how the alternatives were evaluated. We will conclude with the alternatives that we recommend for further consideration as part of upcoming, more detailed engineering phase 1 and phase 2 studies. We encourage you to provide input on the alternatives. More details about the alternatives are in Station 5. We won't cover Station 5 in the public information meeting, but Station 5 is available on the project website. This presentation will describe elements common to all Laraway Road alternatives, present the grade separations considered at the Laraway Road crossing with the Union Pacific Railroad, present the possible configurations at the Laraway Road Route 53 intersection, and share those alternatives recommended to be carried forward for a future study. As discussed in Stations 2 and 3, the PAL study is a series of steps that include defining the existing conditions, developing purpose and need, and developing and evaluating a range of alternatives. From those alternatives that meet the project needs, one or more are selected to carry forward for detailed engineering studies. The conclusions and coordination that took place during the study are documented and can be used for future studies which select and finalize a preferred alternative. The alternatives that were developed for Laraway Road focused on addressing needs discussed in Station 3, including reducing delay, correcting safety issues, and improving freight network reliability. For Laraway Road, several common design elements were included in all of the improvement options. These are 1. Reconstruction and widening of Laraway Road from 1 to 2 through lanes in each direction. 2. Provisions for future pedestrian and bicycle accommodations on the north side of Laraway Road. 3. A grade separation between Laraway Road and the Union Pacific Railroad. Grade separations separate the streams of traffic crossing each other so that both can flow without interruption. For this location, we looked at scenarios where either the roadway or the railroad went over or under the other. The graphic shows one of 4 options. 4. A signal-controlled intersection planned by the City of Joliet about 1/3 of a mile east of the railroad. This future road along existing right-of-way, being studied by others, will be Marcella Avenue. 5. Replacement of service roads that provide access to the railroad and a lift station. The lift station, northeast of the railroad crossing, pumps wastewater from a lower elevation to a higher elevation. The new service roads will require additional right-of-way and are necessitated by the grade separation. And 6, an intersection improvement at Route 53 and Laraway Road. The graphics depict a side view or cross-section of the reconstruction and widening of Laraway Road from 1 to 2 through lanes in each direction, along with future walking and biking accommodations. To address the delays and safety issues at the railroad crossing, options to set apart the railroad tracks from Laraway Road were developed. This is called a grade separation. Grade separations can be bridges, tunnels, overpasses, or underpasses. With the addition of the grade separation between Laraway Road and the railroad, new roadway connections to the existing railroad service roads and lift station are required. These connections would be south of Laraway Road, impacting agricultural land. East of the old school property, a north-south roadway, Marcella Avenue, is planned by the City of Joliet on existing right-of-way. For the Pell study, which is based on a design year of 2050, the new road is considered an existing condition. At the Route 53 intersection with Laraway Road, eastbound Laraway Road traffic backs up past the railroad, resulting in daily delays. In addition, the backed up vehicles are sometimes on the tracks when the railroad gates begin closing. Changes in the configuration of the intersection design were considered to improve operations. These configurations were studied in detail. The common elements we just described, excluding the Route 53 intersection, were combined to develop 4 separation alternatives: a Laraway Road over the Union Pacific Railroad, Laraway Road under the Union Pacific Railroad, Union Pacific Railroad over Laraway Road, Union Pacific Railroad under Laraway Road. Each of the 4 alternatives include reconstruction and widening of Laraway Road, but they differ by whether to change the elevation of the road or the railroad, and they differ by whether the facility is raised or lowered. This slide provides another perspective of the 4 grade separations. The left side shows options to change the elevation of Laraway Road to go over or under the railroad. On the right side are options to change the elevation of the railroad to go over or under Laraway Road. Providing a grade separation will improve the flow of traffic along Laraway Road, eliminating the intermittent delays and backups associated with railroad gate closures and vehicles such as tanker trucks that are required by law to make safety stops. More information about these alternatives can be viewed in the supplementary Station 5, which we won't review in the public information meeting, but which is on the project website. Station 5 includes much more detail about the alternatives and their evaluation. All alternatives include core project improvements, including Laraway Road widening and reconstruction, future pedestrian and bicycle accommodations, and a new signalized intersection at Marcella Avenue. But the alternatives vary by complexities of design and construction, impacts to land to the south of Laraway Road, and cost. All 4 alternatives address the project purpose and need. Adding an additional lane in each direction and providing a railroad grade separation will reduce existing and future delays, improving traffic operations along Laraway Road, eliminating intermittent delays and backups associated with railroad gate closures and safety stops, providing the ability to pass slowly moving trucks, and improving eastbound throughput at Route 53 by creating separate lanes for left turns and through right turns, which are currently blocked by extended queues from left-turning vehicles. Safety will be improved by the elimination of conflicts between trains and vehicles. All alternatives eliminate potential for vehicle, truck-train collisions at this location. All alternatives eliminate vehicle striking and breaking gates. Network freight reliability will improve due to improved traffic flow and elimination of extended railroad gate closures. Separating the highway rail crossing will reduce truck traffic surges that now overwhelm the capacity of the Route 53 intersection. While all 4 mainline alternatives provide a substantial improvement in mobility and safety, the alternative that bridges Laraway Road over the existing Union Pacific Railroad would have the smallest transportation footprint or construction area. This road raised over rail alternative would also have the least drainage and utility conflicts the least overall impact, would be easiest to construct, and would have a lower comparable cost than other alternatives. Alternatives raising and lowering the railroad tracks have more substantial impacts. The key features of the alternative recommended to be carried forward for Laraway Road include bridging Laraway Road over the Union Pacific Railroad. And as previously mentioned, service roads would be constructed to provide access to the railroad and lift station. Service roads would impact land south of Laraway Road. Laraway Road would be widened and reconstructed, future pedestrian and bicycle combinations provided, and the new Marcella Avenue signalized intersection constructed. We're shifting to the final design component of the study, the Route 53 intersection. Several configurations were considered at the intersection to address forecast eastbound delay. These configurations included traditional signal-controlled intersections with different lane configurations. The study team also considered intersection types such as roundabouts and innovative continuous flow intersections, which are sometimes referred to as displaced left turn intersections. Continuous flow intersections improve traffic flow and reduce delays by allowing left turns and through movements of one or both approaches to occur at the same time. IDOT is working on a separate study of Illinois Route 53. The study is targeted at using limited funds to address near-term traffic needs. However, the red line shows the forecast year 2050 afternoon peak period backups in the eastbound direction, extending from Route 53 to past the railroad tracks, if just the short-term improvements are made to the intersection. The short-term improvements will not address long-term needs. This slide shows all configurations that were considered to improve the Route 53 intersection. The arrows show the traffic movements by direction. The red arrows represent a new traffic movement, for example, converting from a single left turn to a dual left turn. The blue arrows show lanes that would need to be reconstructed to accommodate changes to the configuration. For example, if you change from a single left turn lane to two left turn lanes, you will also need to reconstruct the existing lanes to accommodate the additional turn lane. More information about these alternatives can be viewed in Supplementary Station 5, which we won't review in the public information meeting. Station 5 includes much more detail about the alternatives and their evaluation. This slide brings together both the traffic operations and other criteria we've evaluated. Of the configurations considered for the Laraway Road at Route 53 intersection, 3 are recommended to be carried forward. These intersection options achieve a balance between providing good mobility during most periods of the day without over-designing to the point where the intersections become too large for pedestrians to navigate. A couple observations. Configurations 6A, 6B, and 6C, the continuous flow intersection designs, would perform well for traffic. However, they require significantly more right-of-way and are much larger than other configurations. The designs also change how drivers would access existing and future land use near the intersection. Second, configurations 8 and 9 include additional through lanes on Route 53. This would require extensive drainage improvements and potentially greater impacts to a highway on the National Register of Historic Places. Just to recap, of the intersection configurations considered, 3 are recommended to be carried forward to a future study. These are configurations 3, 4, and 7. The remaining slides focus on the highlights of the alternatives recommended to be carried forward. For the main Laraway Road alternatives, 4 were considered. While all 4 mainline alternatives address delay, safety, and freight reliability, only the Laraway Road over Union Pacific Railroad is recommended as the alternative to be carried forward, since it would be easiest to construct, has a least overall conflict with the built and natural environments, and is least disruptive to railroad operations. This illustration shows the alternative to carry forward from Brandon Road to west of the railroad. It includes 2 lanes in each direction, tapered to the west to match the existing cross-section. In addition, you can see the new service road entrance directly south of the quarry driveway. The Laraway Road alternative to carry forward would bridge the road over the railroad. In addition, a new traffic signal and road on existing right-of-way, called Marcella Avenue, would be added. Here are a few additional perspectives to show how the Laraway Road over Union Pacific Railroad alternative would look. These include, in the upper left, a view from the City of Joliet's lift station located east of the tracks and north of Laraway Road. In the lower left, the new Marcella Avenue intersection with the East Side Service Road entrance to the south. In the upper right, Laraway Road bridging over the railroad tracks, viewed from the southeast. In the lower right, a perspective from the Vulcan Materials driveway that shows the West Side Service Road directly to the south. At the Route 53 intersection, we recommend carrying forward 3 configurations, 3, 4, and 7, for further consideration. We'll quickly take a closer look at these configurations. All 3 of these intersection configurations are compatible with the Laraway Road alternatives. They reduce delay along Laraway Road and improve freight network reliability. They will be carried forward for consideration as part of a Laraway Road future study. Some features may also be implemented as short-term improvements. This shows configuration 3, which includes right turn lanes on the north, south, and east legs of the intersection, a through right shared lane on the west leg of the intersection, and dual left turn lanes on the east and west Laraway Road legs of the intersection. The improvements will match the existing cross-section to the east and the widened cross-section to the west. This shows configuration 4, which includes right turn lanes on all 4 legs of the intersection, an additional through lane on the west leg of the intersection, and dual left turn lanes on the east and west legs of the intersection. The improvements will match the existing cross-section to the east and the widened cross-section to the west. This shows configuration 7, which includes the same cross-section as configuration 4, but with the addition of dual left turn lanes on the north and south Route 53 legs of the intersection. This provides a more expansive view of configuration 7 to show how the intersection improvements will fit into the larger improvement and match existing cross-sections on Route 53 and the east leg of Laraway Road. Thank you very much for your time reviewing these materials. We hope you found this presentation helpful. Please comment and provide your thoughts, concerns, and overall feedback. You can submit comments online by visiting the project website or emailing the CMAP contacts provided. You can also mail comments by filling out the comment form included in the project brochure. The brochure contains information about the project and a summary of the alternatives recommended for further consideration. Comments received or postmarked by April 30th will become part of the official project summary. CMAP will also host a live Zoom meeting about the Laraway Road project on April 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. to provide an opportunity for you to chat with the project team and ask questions. Registration for the public meeting is available on our project website, engage.cmap.illinois.gov/Laraway-road-at-Pacific-railroad-crossing. Thank you.
Tom, we did receive one question so far, or comment, and that is the backups in the westbound direction are caused by the intersection of Laraway and Illinois 53. The intersection can be reconstructed to eliminate or decrease the westbound backup. This can be done without a grade separation. Srikanth, would you like to address this comment?
Sure, Carla, thank you. I think just to clarify, I think Martin was probably meant to say eastbound direction backups, or spilled back from the intersection at 53. I suppose that's what the question was meant to say. But again, I think it certainly addresses part of the purpose and need and helps mitigate some of the concerns at the for the mobility. However, it will not be the only solution to address all the purpose and needs at this project, particularly the safety component at the railroad crossing and the gate hits and the safety concerns of trucks and the railroad will not be addressed with that intersection solution alone. I think that is certainly is part of the solution that's as we kind of just mentioned about. Tom or Murray, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I would like to jump in, but Marty, you're absolutely right that there are two issues at play. One is at the railroad crossing and one is at the intersection of Illinois 53. And we do see a lot of traffic that is going eastbound to northbound, and that's truck traffic. As it was mentioned, there's over 75% trucks on this corridor. So, you know, right now, Laraway Road is one lane each direction. And so we're seeing, you know, extended queues that in some days might even go all the way to Brandon Road with the one lane. So we're looking at a couple different things. One is adding an additional lane to add capacity along that road. But even with that, you know, Illinois 53, it's not going to have enough mobility for the eastbound traffic to cover everything. So there's going to be continued backups onto Laraway Road. But the second point is really the safety concerns at the railroad crossing. Those cannot be minimized. We really, you know, you go out there, you can't even believe the trucks that, you know, it's 110 feet wide crossing. So I believe that they're hoping that they're making it across the tracks, but then they back up, right? And they're caught in the tracks. And so you see this repeated situation where trucks are stuck on the tracks.
Thank you, Marie and Srikanth. So far, that's the only comment we received after this station.
And I did want to go back to the one question about the purpose and need, or comment about the purpose and need earlier. Just in case the information wasn't really clear in the station 4, when we develop the forecast traffic for this area, we look at land use development in the area, planned infrastructure improvements like the Hobo Bridge, and we're looking at forward-looking. Our design year traffic was looking 30 years out and is based on 2050 traffic. So we did significant amount of analysis of the traffic, looking at various configurations. For example, you saw 9 different configurations looked at for just for the intersection of Illinois Route 53. And for all of those, they were tested with the traffic.
Thanks, Marie. We actually had another question come in. That is, how do you anticipate the Hobo Bridge impacting forecast traffic on Laraway and 53? And I think that's for you, Marie, as well.
Okay, yeah. So either really Srikanth or I could answer this one, and maybe he can add in as well. So when we developed the 2050 traffic forecast, it did include Hobo Road. So we do see that that provides a huge benefit to the area and will be very well used. And it you know, definitely supports traffic coming to and from the west on I-80, but there will continue to be a need. So we don't necessarily see a significant increase in the truck traffic along this route with Hobo coming into play, but there is more cars coming in as well. So we see a lot more passenger trips along Laraway Road. Srikanth?
Yeah, no, you got it, Marie. I think the only few things, just from a data point, you know, the overall traffic grows, from a ADT standpoint, or average daily traffic, goes up from about 10,000 to 15,000 by 2050 year, right? That's our horizon design year. The truck traffic percentage, though, existing right now is almost 3/4 of the traffic is trucks, and that is going to be reduced to about 65%. Again, the overall truck numbers, are flat, but I think the growth is the passenger cars. Hobart Road Bridge certainly provides a positive impact on this corridor. Still, there will be mobility concerns, though.
Thank you, both Marie and Shrikant. So far, that is the last of the questions we received on this station.
So let's launch another poll. For this poll, we're asking, does the recommended alternatives to be carried forward for future studies address the purpose and need for the project? And again, if there are important issues that the study team needs to consider more carefully in the alternatives development process, then again, put those into the chat pod. But also if there are items that should be considered maybe in future studies that the city of Joliet should consider as part of a future phase 1 study, then also put those in the chat pod. So let's see. So we've been at this for about 45 seconds now. We'll give it until about a minute and a half for people to vote and to give their indication anyway, indicate whether they think the alternative to be carried forward addresses the purpose and need, and then also to put any issues into the chat box. Okay, any other votes out there? Any other indications, yes or no? Okay, and then I'm gonna, it's been at about a minute and a half. I'm gonna end the polling. And then, so about, again, more than 90% of the participants indicated that they thought the alternatives to be carried forward for future studies address the purpose and need. And there was, let's see, one person who indicated no. Did they have a comment in the chat pod?
They did not.
Okay, we'll give another few seconds for them to do that. And then following that, we're going to open up the floor to people who want to make a comment about about any aspect of this Pell study. So we'll begin that in a few seconds here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing those results. And again, if there are comments, about the purpose and need or the alternatives, again, they're welcome anytime. I know that some people have just joined the meeting, so again, we're happy to hear any comments between now and the 30th of April. So you can mail those comments, you can call me, you can add the comments to the chat, to the comment box on the website. We're happy to hear any comments by any way you want to submit them. But let's, Michelle, can you begin the public comment session on this meeting, please?
Great. Good evening, everyone. So we've reached the tail end of today's meeting, in which we'll now open it up for public comments. As I mentioned earlier this evening, we have about 30 minutes for public comments, and attendees will be given 3 minutes to make public comments. So I will actually be sharing my screen and providing a timer so that you'll be able to see how much time you have as you're giving your comment. Please feel free to use the raise your hand feature or send myself, I'm Michelle Agunloye, or Carla, any direct messages should you wish to make a public comment. I am now going to walk us through quickly how to use the raise your hand feature. So if you navigate to the bottom of your screen and click participant, a pop-up screen will pop up, a screen will pop up, I should say, in which you can navigate to the bottom of the screen and you'll see that raise your hand icon. When you click on that, I and Carla will be able to see that your hand is raised and we can call on you to make public comments. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Carla, who will be directing the public comment as I will be setting up the timer.
And I'll just say that if we need to go over 30 minutes for this, we're able to do that as well. And then also, if you have a comment, we're not going to address those right now here, but as appropriate, we may get back to you in the future. But this is really your opportunity to give your comment.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
My name is David Mantner, and I'm on my phone. I didn't see to raise my hand. I'm not trying to be rude, so I just unmuted myself to see if I could use this time to ask a question.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I said before, my name is David Mantner, and I live on 197 West Laraway Road. And according to the picture there, you're gonna put a stoplight right on Masella Avenue, and then the road is gonna be widened with the turn lane there. What is the? Are you gonna change the elevations and things of that nature? There's a lot of that stuff that's gonna run through like my septic area. My electric is out there, and I just have some concerns of where the wastewater is going to go and when it rains and how things are going to be once that's completed.
All right. Since no one has signed up to do a formal comment, is it appropriate, Tom, to have Srikanth take this question?
Yeah, I think so. Let's address this again. Mr. Mantner is a neighbor on the right on the corner there. So,
Srikanth?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think the roadway elevation by the time, I think at this point, we are, as part of this PAL process, we have laid out some conceptual layout of the geometry. And as part of the geometry, we have used an appropriate 3.5% grade coming down the grade crossing. So with that grades, it will be tied back to the existing condition elevations by the time the Laraway Road approaches the Marcella Avenue, and we do not see that to be really making any significant elevation changes at the intersection. Again, that intersection is anticipated to be part of the no-build condition, and that is that's being planned on a separate study or as part of.
Yeah, and I also want to add that these drainage issues are something that are typically studied in detail during the next phase of engineering. We know that that there are existing drainage issues that were actually raised during the initial public input phase back in May and June of last year. So we were aware of those and are carrying those issues forward for future study should the city of Joliet determine to move forward with those engineering studies. But that is something that is considered carefully during that engineering process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom and Shrikant. So far, we do not have anyone else signed up to make a public comment.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, my name is Marge Fleet. And my question is concerning Marcella Avenue. There's many landowners that are in the township, so I don't see how you could develop, the city of Joliet could develop land that is in the township. And where would Marcella end?
Okay. Well, and is that the end of your comment?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. I'll just say that that we are studying a future improvement on Laraway Road, and we understand from the city of Joliet that there will be a future Marcella Avenue. There is a dedicated right of way at Marcella Avenue, but the study of that is by others and is not a part of this study. We are just accommodating what we understand is necessary on the Laraway Road right of way and are not really considering what's north of this project.
Okay, I guess what I'm saying is, so you've got the light there, and are trucks turning on Marcella Avenue and going north and hooking up someplace north of Laraway? I mean, what is the purpose of the light at Marcella Avenue?
The purpose of the light at Marcella Avenue would be primarily to give access to the land between Route 53 and the railroad tracks.
Okay, thank you.
I am not seeing any other comments or requests for comment time.
Okay, so we'll give this maybe another minute or so.
I recommend that we just stay on the line for 10 minutes, and if people want to leave, they can. If people want to stay and ask a question, they can as well.
Okay. Yeah, we did say that it would be till 7:30, so maybe we
Right.
should give the entire time there.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, this is Marge Fleet again. I did have another question concerning the initial video that stated that some trucks on Laraway Road are transporting hazardous waste. And where are they transporting the hazardous waste to? Because being a member of the community, many of us are not aware of hazardous waste being transported. You know, where's their destination?
So we don't actually have that information, but we observed at the crossing that there were vehicles that, including tanker trucks, stake bed trucks, etc., that were stopping at the crossing, and we don't know what these vehicles were carrying, and it's hazardous materials and not necessarily hazardous waste.
Well, anything hazardous, you know, where would their destination go? I know waste management, but by law, they aren't taking hazardous waste materials.
So this is an industrial area, and there are industrial uses here.
Okay, and where could we find out where these hazardous materials are ending up?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to clarify, so what was in that first station was really just observations from being in the field and the vehicles that we saw crossing the tracks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we will be staying till 7:30, which was our allotted end time. If people have comments to make, then we continue to welcome them. Okay, so we're still here, and if we still welcome comments at this time. Are there any additional public comments at this time?
None have come in via chat.
Well, at this time, people are still welcome to comment, but I will note that comments may be submitted to CMAP via the website or by mail or phone through April 30th of this year, April 30th, 2021. And again, people are welcome to submit those comments in any way that they can. We're happy to answer questions, address issues. But thank you for listening to today's presentations. We really appreciate it.